Good morning. I am going to explain to you the answers to the FRQ that you guys completed today. You can see that it had some visuals to go along with the questions. One, this graph that kind of shows the population density the further away you get from the central business district, the CBD as we've been calling it, and the further out you get, the distance from the CBD that you go into what we have been calling the suburbs, which is where a lot of you guys probably live. You will see underneath this curve, we have various types of residential properties and where they exist in relation to the CBD. So first we have multi-story apartments. So we've talked about how the CBD is full of multifamily homes, mostly apartment buildings. And then we move a little further, old crowded housing, mini apartments. So if you'll think about some of the urban models we've looked at, the housing's not so great as you get closer to the CBD. Single family housing, closely spaced, so some of that working class single family homes, small homes, not the greatest, but single family homes. Then you get some fancier duplexes and condo buildings, and then the further we get from the CBD, not only is our population density much smaller, as you can see as this curve goes down, that means population density is decreasing, but also we have some detached houses like the ones I bet you guys live in, and then we get all the way out to the suburbs where the population density is even lower. And then we have these two population pyramids, blast from the past, I know. This is all the way from first semester when we were looking at population pyramids, but you can see we have location X, which can be found right here. And we have the population pyramid for location Y, which can be found right here. So right off the bat, this one is representing a community of people that live very close to the CBD, while this one is representing a community that lives way out in the suburbs. So let's get started. Let's see what's going to happen here. Okay, so now we are looking at the description of the question, the graph shown above, this one right here, the one that includes all of those types of residential properties and CBD and the distance all the way out to the suburbs. The graph shown above describes the residential density profile of a major North American city. The population pyramids labeled X and Y describe the demographic composition of places located at points X and Y on the graph of population density. So we've already talked about how these two population pyramids represent communities that are living up here in these corresponding points. All right, so question A is, use the concept of land rent, sometimes called bid rent, to explain the profile of residential population density shown on the graph. So what the heck does that mean? Well, population density and cost of rent decline as you move away from the central business district. We've talked about this, about how land in the CBD is very, very, very expensive, which is why it's so densely packed, which is why it contains so many skyscrapers, because you have to build up, not out, because land is so expensive in that area. So population density and cost of rent decline as you move away, which is why people can spread out a little bit more in those detached houses. But as you move away from the CBD, due to land becoming cheaper and access to the CBD becoming more restricted the further you move from the CBD. So population density decreases out here, because if we're going to spread all of our houses out, more of us can, or less of us can even fit out there. And plus, if you work all the way out here in the CBD, if you move really far away, well, then your access gets limited. You have to drive a long time. You have to deal with traffic jams, so on and so forth. So that's the reason you see this dip happen, because less people can fit out here due to the nature of the housing, but also less people want to live out here because it takes so long to get into the CBD where they are most likely working or shopping or going to the doctor, so on and so forth. The profile dips right here. It's low right here, right above the CBD, because there are no or not as many residential properties due to high cost of land and high competition for space. So everybody people who want to live, people who want to work, manufacturers, companies, whatever. They all want this space, so it's really expensive because it's in high demand. And a regular person's not going to be able to afford that just to live there. So this land is pretty much bought up by commercial and industrial land users who are willing and able to pay more for that land than you or I would be able to just to live there. All right, so question B, using the two population pyramids labeled X and Y, identify and explain two differences in the demographic composition between the pyramids. So maybe you had to spend a little time reacquainting yourself with what a population pyramid was even telling you, but you can see up here on the vertical axis you have ages. So people who are 0 to 4 years old, people who are 10 to 14 years old, people who are 20 to 24-year-olds, all the way up to our elderly population of 80 to 84-year-olds. And then if you will recall, one side is for male, one side is for female, and these numbers down here are what percentage of the population are we even looking at in these certain age brackets, okay? So using the population pyramids labeled X and Y, identify and explain two differences in the demographic composition between each pyramid. So who's living in community X versus who's living in community Y? So this fancy little chart down here lets us know that if we start off percentage of people who are 0 years old to 20. So what does our young population look like, okay? It's lower in the X community, which is closer to the CBD, and it's higher in the Y community, which is out in the suburban area of this community. Percentage of 35-year-olds to 50-year-olds, let's see. So we've got some prime working age people, again, lower at X, higher at Y. Percentage of 20 to 30-year-olds really bumps out here. Those young adults, they're living at location X, which is near the CBD, where it's a apartment style housing, so you don't need a big house because you don't have a lot of kids if you're 20 to 30 years old probably. Ages 60 and over, higher at X. Once you retire, you want to downsize, you want to be close to your doctors and your hospitals and the amenities because you don't want to have to drive a lot, so it makes sense that our elderly population would live closer to the city or the CBD than all the way out in those more secluded suburbs. And then percentage of females, 55 or older females, let's see, higher at X, yep, we can see that here, and lower at Y. So an example of what you might write or what you may have written to answer this question, to give an example of the differences, the population at location Y has more children, while the population at location X has more young adults. More kids out in the suburbs because once you're ready to start a family, you probably want more room, you move out there, it's cheaper, your kids can spread out, you can have more space, so it makes sense that there would be more children in the suburban area of community Y, and there would be more young adults who want to live in the city close to all the fun stuff over here in community X. All right, so the last question, C, explain the relationship between the demographic differences identified in part B above and residential land use patterns at point X and Y, respectively, in the graph of population density. All right, so explanation for population living at Y. Why would people choose to live in Y, out here, far from the CBD and the suburbs? Well, family with children live at Y. We've already talked about how you want more space and you want cheaper land if you're going to have a bunch of kids. Lack of affordable single-family housing and outdoor space in X. Again, this goes back to wanting children. If you can only afford an apartment here, but you want to have 2 or 3 kids, that's not going to be feasible. Plus, where the heck are they going to go play? So if you plan to have children, these people over here in the population pyramid Y decided they were going to, so they moved out here where they could find some more affordable single housing and some outdoor space. Negative perception of neighborhood at X. So this goes back to stereotypes. We tend to see a lot of stuff in the news that, oh, living near the city is dangerous. Well, we know that you can find danger anywhere. So negative perceptions, negative stereotypes about this neighborhood may cause people who want to raise a family to move out here to Y. Or you could have said availability of affordable single-family housing and outdoor space at Y. So the positives about why you would live in Y. Cars enable low-density development at Y. So because people have cars, you can have a larger yard. Because less people live out here, because you need to have a car or reasonable, dependable transportation to live out here. So it allows a certain lifestyle that some people are looking for that can only be found in Y. Positive perception of neighborhood at Y. So safety, good schools. And again, back to stereotypes, back to that whole, oh, the further you move out, the safer you will be, which we know that there can be a crime anywhere. So again, you could use that other stereotype of the suburbs being less dangerous. All right, so why in the heck would people live at X? Well, there are a bunch of reasons you could have explained why people would live in X instead of Y. So college, young workers, people without children at X, the universities, the hospitals where young professionals work, the companies and corporations and all those high-rise buildings where young people work. People who don't have children, those young people don't need fancy, big, expansive houses, so they're fine living in the smaller houses and apartments that would be located here. Distance from city amenities at Y. A young person who has, the desire to go out and have fun isn't going to want to live all the way out here where there's not much to do or see, so they're going to want to live here at X. Cost of transportation to jobs in CBD at Y. So if you're young and you're just starting out, you don't have the money to maintain a car or to put gas in that car and to spend all that time and money getting all the way out from out here to where you work here. It's not realistic. You could also say affordable high density housing at X. Well, because there are so many apartments here, they're all jammed together, the density is high, they can be less expensive than a single family home out here, which is going to be great for a young person. City amenities, museums, nightlife, music. We've already talked about how people living at X are probably living there because they want to be close to all the cool stuff. And then peer group attraction at X. If you're young and you're hip and all of your friends are living here in X, you're probably going to want to too. So like people attract like people. We could also talk about retirees, older persons without dependents. You couldn't just call them elderly, you would need to call them older persons and explain why they would want to live here. If they don't have dependents, then they're probably not going to have people to help them get from here to here. So elderly people who need a lot of the services that are going to be found in the CBD, like those hospitals and amenities, they're going to want to live, or they're going to need to live close to them. Downsizing from larger housing at Y after retirement. Okay, again, we talked about downsizing. It's cheaper and smaller to live in a smaller space here, less to take care of if you're an elderly person. Distance from city amenities at Y. Yep, just like young people don't want to be far from the amenities, probably neither do those elderly people, so they are going to move back in closer to town as they retire. Aging in place at X, so if you already lived here, you're going to just stay living here as you get older. Affordable high density housing at X. Group and social housing, so a lot of retirement communities are closer into the CBD to be close to those hospitals and doctors. In migration due to retirement, downsizing, amenities, affordability at X. And guess what? We're lucky, girls live longer, and so that explains why there are more older women up in here, more older women living near the CBD because A, the elderly already move closer back into all those amenities, but B, girls live longer. Yeah, go us. So it all makes sense. All right. There's one more thing that I wanted to share with you, and that was a sample student response. Someone who actually answered this question. This question is worth 8 points. This person got 7 out of 8 points. So I will post this in the homework page, but I will also read it to you. Okay. People tend to live in multi-story apartment buildings because of the close proximity to the central business district. Closer the distance, the easier on transportation, which would greatly affect the population in Y in the suburbs compared to population X. New York is a good example showing this, especially near the business district, i.e. Wall Street. There are more crowded buildings, more people, and less amount of space, which procures the multi-story apartments in order to fit them in. However, the transportation cost would be cheaper even though the rent may be higher. Population Y would have more space in between locations, less amount of buildings and less amount of people, so lower population density. However, the transportation costs to and from the CBD would be greater. In population X, there also tends to be less children and elders compared to the amount of adults. Middle age is